people wake up in the same city, live on the same street, and face the same set of challenges. First one rolls over, sighs, and thinks, oh, here we go again. Their shoulders are already slumped before their feet hit the floor. They scroll their phone, see someone else's highlight reel, and they wake up feeling smaller. On the way to work, they hit traffic and curse the delay. They walk into the office carrying a heaviness and grumbling. Every interaction is tense. Every obstacle feels personal. And by the end of the day, they are drained, discouraged, and convinced tomorrow's gonna be just as disappointing. The second person, same alarm clock, same traffic, same red bills waiting on the kitchen counter. Some of y'all know what it means when those bills are red, but keep it pushing. But they start different. They pause to notice the sunlight breaking through the blinds, and they take a breath of gratitude for the simple fact that they woke up today with another chance. On the way to work, they use the traffic jam as an opportunity to call someone that they've been meaning to encourage. At the office, their presence feels lighter. They don't ignore problems, no, but they approach them with the posture of, there's always something I can learn and something I can use. By the end of the day, they feel energized. Not because everything went perfectly, but because they didn't allow circumstances to steal their perspective. Same city, same street, same challenges, different flow. And the difference is gratitude. Which person do you tend to show up as? And remember, this is the honesty table, because most of us, myself included, have lived as the first person more times than we would like to admit. Quick to notice what's missing, what's wrong. Slow to appreciate what's here. Ultimately, living reactive instead of flowing with gratitude. But what if you could shift? What if you could walk through life with the same external circumstances, but a completely different internal energy? An energy that attracts, inspires, and ultimately sustains you. This is part 4, the final episode of our Becoming series, and today we're going to talk about the flow of gratitude, because when you live in gratitude, you don't just survive the day, you attract the kind of life that you were meant to live. Gratitude isn't just an emotion, it's a frequency. Think about radio stations. If you tune in to the wrong frequency, all you hear is static, noise, distortion. Your favorite song could be playing, but if you're not tuned in to the right frequency, you'll miss it. And that's what happens when we live in bitterness, comparison, and frustration. We've simply tuned into the wrong station. Life begins to feel like static. And what's funny is when we're in that mode, even when opportunities begin to pass by, we don't notice because the noise drowns out the signal. But gratitude is tuning into the clear channel. Suddenly the music comes through. The signal is strong and you can hear what was always there. And the truth is, life is always sending you opportunities. But whether you notice them or not depends on what station you're tuned into. When you're tuned into frustration station, you miss the chance hidden in the problem. When you're tuned into bitterness FM, you miss the people in your life that are trying to help you. And if you click over to comparison AM, you miss the beauty of your own lane. Gratitude shifts the dial. It tunes you in. And here's the thing. It doesn't change the music. It changes your ability to hear it. So I have to stop and ask you, what station have you been listening to? What have you been tuned into lately? If you've been living on the static of frustration and resentment, no wonder you feel drained. But what I want to tell you is the moment you begin to shift into gratitude, you start hearing the music again. You start feeling alive again. Because what you focus on, you feel. And what you feel can drive you towards what you ultimately do. Gratitude makes you resourceful, and positivity makes you a magnet. And when you live in both, you step into a flow. Oprah Winfrey. Today, she's a global icon. But if we rewind the clock, her beginnings were far from glamorous. She was born in poverty in rural Mississippi, raised in instability, abused as a child, rejected, overlooked, dismissed. By every measure, she had every right to live a life that was angry and defeated. At 19, she got her first television job. She was fired. In fact, her boss even went as far as to tell her that she was unfit for TV. Hey, where's he at? Can I do an interview with him? This is why we need to stop listening to outside voices. People don't know what they're talking about. The only one that can tell you what you're fit for is God. Can you imagine? The very thing that would one day make her a household name was dismissed as a weakness. But the question we have to throw on the table is, how does someone go from being told you'll never make it to becoming one of the most successful, influential women in history? The answer isn't talent. The answer isn't luck. The answer is in gratitude. And as Oprah put it, dreaming the dream that God had for her. And with that, Oprah chose to focus on what she did have, not what she lacked. She said in interviews she kept a gratitude journal before gratitude journals were popular. And every night she would write down small things that she was thankful for. Sometimes it was as simple as a good meal, a good conversation, or a chance to learn something new. And that practice didn't erase her struggles, but it reframed them. And gratitude became the lens through which she saw her setbacks as setups. It gave her the very energy she needed to keep showing up, even when doors were closed in her face. And here's what's powerful, y'all. I'm from the South, so we say y'all. Gratitude didn't just make her feel better, it made her sharper. It opened her eyes to opportunities that others would miss. It fueled her creativity and gave her resilience. And that's true for you too. Gratitude doesn't require perfect conditions. In fact, it thrives in imperfect ones. Because when you can be grateful in the dark, you'll shine the brightest when the light comes. So let's expand this principle. Gratitude is the foundation. It roots you, it steadies you, it keeps you from drifting in despair when things get tough. But positivity is the overflow. It's when gratitude becomes expressed outwardly. It's when it shows up in your words and your body language. It shows up in how you treat people and the atmosphere that you yourself carry. Gratitude is the root, positivity is the fruit. And whenever you encounter a negative individual, that negativity is the fruit of an ungrateful heart. Ooh. And the thing that we have to remember is that one without the other doesn't last. In fact, gratitude without positivity, it stays locked on the inside. And positivity without gratitude is shallow, it's fake. But together they make you unshakable. And let me be clear, positivity isn't pretending life is perfect. It's not plastering on a fake smile while your world is falling apart. Positivity isn't denial, it's defiance. It's standing in the middle of a storm and saying, yeah, wind, I see you. Yeah, rain, I feel you. But I refuse to let what's around me dictate what is on the inside of me. And I choose to look for what's possible. I choose to believe that there's still something good there. That's the flow. That's the state where doors open. People are magnetically drawn to you. They want to be around you. And life stops feeling like resistance, starts feeling like momentum. How would your week change if you intentionally showed up, rooted in gratitude and overflowing with positivity? So you might be watching this and saying, okay, Aaron, this is great, but how do I actually live in gratitude? How do I live in the flow? Here's a practical challenge that I call the gratitude reframe. For the next 7 days, I want you to do 2 simple things. 1, a daily gratitude list. Every morning or night, you choose, write 3 things that you're grateful for. Not in your head, put it on paper. And the reason you have to write it down is because writing rewires your brain. And don't just search for the big things, put the little things too. And number 2, the gratitude reframe. When you face a challenge this week, stop and ask yourself, what in this situation can I be grateful for? What's the hidden opportunity here? Try that instead of, oh my God, this delay is ruining everything. That's how complaining sounds in my mind. At first, this might feel forced, but over time, you will condition your brain to look for the good, what's useful, what's possible. And after 7 days, reflect. How did your energy shift? Did it change the way people responded to you? That's how you start living in the flow. Now let's zoom out. We've walked through this Becoming series together. Part 1 was the shift, learning that success isn't running from us. Part 2 is what we'll call the climb, building momentum through small, consistent action. Part 3 is the core, strengthening the inner you. And part 4 was the flow, living in gratitude and positivity. The shift gives you awareness, the climb gives you discipline, the core gives you resilience, and the flow gives you joy. All together, they form a foundation for a life unshakable, unstoppable, and unimaginable. So picture this. You walk into a room, you don't need applause to feel valuable. You don't need validation to take action. Storms don't shake you, they shape you. And you radiate gratitude and overflow with positivity. And because of that, people are becoming drawn to you. Because of that, opportunities, they're gravitating to you. And because of that, success can't ignore you. I didn't create this series to motivate you. It was created to transform. So as we close it out, repeat after me. I am in the flow. I live in gratitude. I live in positivity. And I am becoming the kind of person success can't ignore. If you enjoyed this video, I want you to comment, I'm living in the flow. And if you missed the other 3 videos, go watch them. I truly believe that if you begin to walk out all 4 parts, not perfectly, not all at once, but step by step, you will no longer chase success, you'll attract it. I want to invite you to become an expander. Join our community by hitting that subscribe button. And always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll see you.